Yeah, now you go back to there. Just refresh. You're live. Okay, it's good. We can do. We don't have to talk anymore.
So just refresh it and it works.
Yeah. You're live now.
But start.
That audio is here.
Okay.
Make sure the audio works here.
Hello.
No,
Oh yeah. How do I? Oh fuck. How do I? OBS file settings, stream, file settings, stream.
Never mind. It's good.
Well then, why is this thing not here? Title. I didn't do the title description, not for kids.
You don't have to do that now because you just need to capture this.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. God damn it.
Capture this or something. Okay. So here's how it goes. You and I are gonna start live for first 50 minutes.
Okay.
Then I will live with her. Then you take a break.
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay.
And then you and her take live. So
That's
this is split.
got it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. So every session is 50 minutes.
Got
We
it.
take 2 sessions or one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way we make it work.
It's okay. I'm okay. Just tell me when you want me to stop. Yeah.
And then just 8:50.
Okay. No problem.
No. 7:15 here,
Okay.
but in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Good nice.
Ha! Fuck. Okay, we've got a lot of things to talk about today. One of the first things we'll talk about is the current administration and how they're building an equity profile, and they're growing primarily critical minerals and semiconductors, and they're doing in an unusual way that's outside of wartime and outside of economic crisis. Because the current administration has actually invested in over 10 different companies. Let me show you that right here. If you look at this article, the Trump administration equity portfolio is growing, and these are investments so far. That's one of the things we'll look at, and we'll also look at some of the different investments that they're making. For example, U.S. Steel, MP Materials, Intel, just to name a few. We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at, for example, when we go to airlines, American Airlines, for example, pressure mounts. Where is that? Hold on one second. Transportation. Pressure is mounting for. Where is my airline? Stellantis. Oh, they took it off. Hold on one second. look at that pressure mounting for American Airlines. Yeah, right here. This article right here on CNBC: pressure mounts on American Airlines. CEO's carrier lags the rivals. We'll talk about American Airlines and some of their challenges as we go. And another one that we'll talk about is, for example, right here, if we go to energy, where's my energy? Yeah, right here. Where's my total? Maybe total energies. It is to provide solar power. To provide solar power. Yeah, here we go. This is a big headline for today as well. Total Energies is going to provide 1 gigawatt of solar power to help Google. If I can get that one pulled up here just a second. My Wi-Fi is actually kind of slow right now, as you can tell. Okay. Well, we'll get to that. Okay. And we'll also do that. We'll also do, for example, later on, coming a bit later, we'll also get into some of the companies, their chart patterns, as you can see behind me. As you can see in the picture, we'll do some chart patterns. We'll also, for example, we'll do some chart patterns. We'll talk about double tops. We'll talk about the MACD. We'll also talk a little bit about the RSI, the relative strength index. We'll talk about those as we go. But first, let's get into some of the news. We'll also talk a little bit about the cash flow, the fundamentals, and how to use them when analyzing a company. But that stuff is yet to come, okay? But first, let's go here. Wait, is this coming up? No, maybe not. Why not? Yeah. Total Energies provide solar power, Google's data centers. Yes, right there. But where's the one on? CNBC. To Google, Texas. Yeah. That's where we're going to talk about how Total Energy is going to provide power to Google in Texas. But let's start here first with some of the news headlines here. The Trump administration has been making unprecedented equity investments and obtain other stakes in at least 10 companies over the past year, as you can see right here. Many are the critical minerals, as the White House plots a strategy directly backing mining companies to build a domestic supply chain and reduce independence on China. But the investments also include chip makers and possibly a nuclear reactor company. In the case of U.S. Steel, the administration has taken a governance stake rather than a direct economic interest, and the number of investments is extraordinary outside of wartime or in economic crisis. Okay, that's according to one of the researchers and lawyers. For example, and also said that the administration could take stakes in major defense suppliers such as Lockheed Martin. Now, when it comes to their investments, where are they going to? One of them is U.S. Steel. But here's the thing. The Trump administration secured a golden share in U.S. Steel as a condition for approving Nippon Steel acquisition for the historic manufacturer. The golden share is a governance stake that gives the president veto power over key business decisions. It is not a direct economic stake in U.S. Steel. The president can veto decisions to close, idle, or sell U.S. steel plants. He can also block U.S. Steel from changing its name, moving its headquarters from Pittsburgh, or relocating the company outside the U.S. And also, another one they're investing in is MP Materials. MP Materials is a critical minerals company headquartered in Las Vegas that operates the only commercial rare earth mine in the U.S. at Mount Pass in California. It has a market value of more than $10 billion. Now, here's the kicker on this, though. The Defense Department struck a landmark deal with MP in July that includes an equity stake, a price floor, and an agreement to buy a portion of the future output. The Pentagon agreed to buy $400 million of preferred stock and they're entitled to a warrant allowing it to purchase additional shares. It said that exercising these options would give the Pentagon a 15% stake, positioning it as the company's largest single shareholder. Now, what about the other companies like Intel? The Commerce Department took a 10% stake in Intel in August, buying 433 million shares at $20 per share. And funding for the investment came from $5.7 billion of grants and from the CHIPS Act. What about lithium? Lithium Americas is a critical mineral startup with no revenue. So as you can see, they have multiple shares in a lot of these different companies. The Department of Energy took a 5% stake in Lithium America. What about Trilogy Metals? Trilogy Metals is another critical metals startup with no revenue. It aims to develop a mining project in Alaska called Upper Kobuk Mineral Projects using a controversial 211-mile-long Ambler Road to extract copper and other materials. And let's see. They approved the permits for Ambler Road in October, and the administration invested $35.6 million into the project. Yeah. Trilogy is also headquartered in Vancouver and trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. What about U.S. Rare Earths? U.S. Rare Earths is another critical mineral startup that is also not generating any revenue yet. It's developing a magnet manufacturing facility in Stillwater, Oklahoma. What about Westinghouse? Westinghouse is a private nuclear reactor developer. It is owned by publicly traded Cameco, a Canadian uranium miner, and a Brookfield investment manager. Yes, so bear that in mind. Yeah. Under the deal with Westinghouse, government is granted a participation interest in Westinghouse and can require an initial public offering on or before January 2029 if the company's value rises above $30 billion. The government could become an 8% shareholder in Westinghouse under that scenario. What about Vulcan Elements? Vulcan Elements is a private startup based in Durham, North Carolina, and Vulcan entered into a $1.4 billion partnership with the U.S. government and Re-Element Technologies to build a domestic rare earth magnet supply chain. They'll build a 10,000 metric ton magnet facility in the U.S. It'll receive $620 million from the Pentagon, $550 million of incentives from the Commerce Department, and raise $550 million in private capital. A couple more. Xlike. Xlike is a private company headquartered in Palo Alto, California. It's developing free electron lasers. Free electron lasers to manufacture semiconductors. Another one, L3 Harris. L3Harris Technologies is the defense company with more than 65 billion in market cap. Again, these are really, really interesting. Now, let's take a look at some of these, okay? Let's go ahead and break them down. Let's go, for example, with, let's go here, American Steel. What's the first one they want to talk about? U.S. Steel. Dun, dun, dun. So if we go here to U.S. Steel. Now let's go here to MP. I think MP is the first one. Yeah, MP Materials right there. Yeah, MP Materials right there. So let's look up MP Materials. Okay, so looking up MP Materials, a couple things I just want to show you guys first. We'll talk about chart patterns, we'll talk about MACDs, and we'll also talk about RSIs. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to chart patterns, what's one of the first things we can see right here? Right here, if I can get my correct highlighter, here it is. Here's what we call the head, the left shoulder, and then the right shoulder, and then right here, this is what we call the neckline. So left shoulder, right shoulder, and then the head and shoulders that you see right there. When it breaks the neckline and breaks down, that's called when it breaks the neckline and trends down, that's the breakout part. But that's basically a head and shoulders chart pattern. Let me give you another one right here. This is called right here you see one top and you see another top right there. Basically that's what we call a double top. When you see a double top, it'll trend down as you see there. Also, the same thing that you see right here. You see where is it? Here's one top and here's another top right here. That's a double top and it trends down. The same thing here. You see the two tops and then it trends down, right? So when you see a double top, you're going to think a downward trend, and then also you have the reverse. You have a double bottom right here. Double bottom, you have the upward trend, right? So you have the double top, the double bottom. Here's another double top. The double bottom is just basically the inverse of the double top. You see the double top, the double bottom, it'll go up. See the double top, it'll go down. Yeah, just like right here on this chart pattern right here. Again, a double. Let me put this in a double top right there, and the chart turns down. Yeah, so also the same thing here. You have a double bottom, and you see the chart trend upward, right? So just a couple basic chart patterns right there. Let's move along here. Just to give you an idea about this. What's this indicator? This is called the MACD. Basically, to put in very simple terms, the MACD just looks at the history and then, for example, makes predictions based on the history. But one of the disadvantages of the MACD is it's oftentimes very, very, very lagging. But it lags much less, it's more on time when there's more price chart change. So, for example, when you see this right here, there's more price chart change, that's when the MACD might be more on time. So for example, right here, you see where my cursor is right there. You see right here where it crosses down on the MACD crosses down the orange line. When it crosses down on the orange line, that means the chart pattern is going to go down also. Okay, so right here you see that the chart pattern, it crosses going down. Well, that's on. You see how on time that is right there. You see in the chart pattern there's a big change in price difference, right? Well, with that big change, that causes the MACD to be less lagging, okay? And then also when you see like when you see right here, let me show you this. You see how the MACD doesn't cross until right here. In this case, the MACD is very lagging because if you see up here in the price chart, it started to go up right here, but the MACD doesn't cross until right here. So that's what I mean. Let me give you that as an arrow. Okay, so right here, boom, but right there, it's already, yeah. So that's what I mean. The MACD is oftentimes very, very lagging. Now, let's move on to the RSI. What is the RSI? right here. Okay, the RSI Relative Strength Index. Let's talk about that. Relative Strength Index. In general terms, this is talking about this line here, which is the 70 line, and then this line here, which is the 30 line. Let me give you that in text right here. So this is 70 equals overbought area, and 30 equals oversold area right there. And then also basically between 45 to 55 is also thought as a very neutral right there. Okay, so 45 to 55 very, very neutral, and then 70 is overbought, 30 is oversold. But here's what's to keep in mind with this RSI. It can go very, very overbought before it actually market corrects and comes down, and it can go very, very oversold before it actually market corrects and goes back up. So keep that in mind. Just know that when it's over 70, there's going to be, you don't know when, but it's eventually going to market correct and come down. And when it gets to 30, you don't know when, but it's eventually going to market correct and come back up. So it's up to you to be able to discern that. And then let me show you, for example, when it's 45 to 55, that's what we call consolidation. It consolidates. Let me give you a good example of that. Yeah, for example, here's a good one. Right here. You see right here how it stays right there. Between basically, here is 41 and here is 61. So it's still pretty close, 45 and 55. You see how right here the price doesn't change much. That's what we call continuation or consolidation. So those are the basics right there. Now let's move on here. Let me go over here to the beginning of this chart. Right here. So right here, let me give you the arrow so you can see this. There. So right here we're sitting at 55. Okay. So 55 is very, very neutral. It's a very neutral number. So you're looking at, when you see 55, generally you're going to see consolidation in the chart pattern, which is kind of what you're seeing right now. 55 is very neutral. It's not going to go up or down very much, but there's always can be a catalyst to make it break out one way or the other. Okay, so bear that in mind. So that's what we have right now. And push strains. Okay, let's look here at the volume. Volume is at 6.95 million. Market cap is at 10.86 billion. And let's go to the fundamentals. Let's talk about the fundamentals here, okay? So fundamentals wise, if we look at quarterly, Q3, it actually surpassed its expectations right there. Same thing with Q2 and Q1. It was negative, but not as negative as they had projected it to be. So it surpassed expectations. Annually, let's see. Annually, 2024, it met its expectations. It was negative, but it was equally negative to what it was supposed to be. 2023, as you can see, it actually surpassed its earnings expectations, and the same thing with 2022. It surpassed its earnings expectations. Let's move on here to statements. Let's go to annual statements. Now, the last 2 years, total revenue, 2023 and 2024, were not good. You see they were all in the red. The same thing with gross profit and operating income. The last 2 years were not good. They were all in the red. Also, net income, all in the red there as well. So statements-wise, it's not looking very good. Just for example, just for entertainment purposes, if you want to see what the all-knowing smart guys on Wall Street are saying, 15 analysts, they looked at this and they gave it a strong rating. See, a minimum 12% upside potential. So bear that in mind. Again, we're looking at these. Why are we looking at these? Because these are some of the companies that the Trump administration has invested and taken a stake in. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let me see here. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Yeah. So here we go on this. That was MP Materials. Now let's take a look at Intel. Okay. Let me look at Intel for you guys. Intel. Intel was another company that was mentioned because the current administration has taken a stake into them. Yeah. Let me see this. Intel. If you, yeah, Commerce Department. Let's look at this right here. The White House. Trump. Yeah, the Commerce Department took a 10% stake in Intel in August 2025, buying 33.3 million shares of the chipmaker's common stock at $20.47 per share. Funding for the investment came from 5.7 billion of government grants under the CHIPS Act and 3.2 billion in federal awards under a program to make chips secure. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC last August that the stake is non-voting and does not include governance rights. Okay, so let's take a look at Intel. Okay, right here, Intel. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to Intel. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Intel right now, as you can see. All right, what's their RSI? We talked about the RSI being the relative strength index, and right here it's sitting at 61, which is not overbought. But it's just outside being neutral. But you might expect a little bit of consolidation, like we're seeing right there. So see, it comes up. Right here is actually a good example of consolidation. Right here. See how, give my arrow back. See how right here, it just goes up and down like a ping pong ball. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like that. That's consolidation or continuation. And right here, it's trying to break out of that. But then it also, you see right here, it gets struck down by the invisible ceiling. So, yeah, that's consolidation. And for example, as you can see during this consolidation pattern, what was the RSI? The RSI was about 43 on up to 59.60 right there. What's the chart pattern I can show you here? Let me here. Let's see if a couple ones jump out at me right here. One thing I can show you is some more, for example, here. This is some more consolidation right here. Basically goes up and down about the same amount. Yeah, right here. Right there, yeah. Okay, a little more consolidation there. And then here, let me give you this. Also, remember what I said about how they can go way overbought before ever market correcting? Yeah, right here. Goes right here to 90, right here. Bang, goes all the way up to 90 before it ever finally market corrects. So bear that in mind. Also, the same thing can happen down here with the being oversold. Right here, see how it goes way oversold before ever market correcting? Yeah. So it can go way overbought, way oversold before it ever finally market corrects. Let me see if I can give you a chart pattern very easily on this one. Yeah, for example, here this is a triple top basically right there, and then it right there market corrects, and then here let's see. Now let's go ahead and go on. Volume wise, 115 million for Intel. Market cap is at 252 billion, and yeah, earnings wise, quarterly, all both these previous quarters were very good. They surpassed the earnings expectations, but Q2 missed the earnings expectations by a lot. Let's go annually. Annually for earnings right here, 2025 surpassed. For annual earnings for 2025 was great. Surpassed earnings expectations. 2024 was actually good because even though the earnings were negative, they were less negative than expected. 2023 also surpassed earnings expectations. And then statements wise, annually, go to total revenue. The last 3 years were not good for total revenue. It's all in the red. Gross profit, the only year that was good in the last 4 years was 2025. Otherwise, all those previous 4 years were not good in the red. The same thing with operating income. 2025 was great. It was all in the green, but the 3 years, no. Same thing with net income. 2025 was good for Intel, but the other previous years were not. And if you want to go into some of the forecast, look at the forecast. What does the forecast say? 37 analysts over 1 year price forecast estimate 150 as a max and 30 as a minimum. Just for your entertainment purposes, that's Intel. Okay. Now again, why are we looking at these? Because these are some of the ones that the Trump administration has invested into. Lithium Americas, let's see, is a critical minerals startup with no revenue that's developing a lithium mine in Humboldt County, Nevada called Thacker Pass. It has a $1.5 billion market cap. The Department of Energy took a 5% stake in Lithium Americas and a 5% economic stake in its joint venture with General Motors to develop Thacker Pass. In its exchange, the development agreed to defer $182 million of debt service on $2.3 billion of federal loan over 5 years. If we're going to push out part of the repayment into later years, then the administration would like a very small stake of equity to create essentially a cash buffer and eliminate some risk on behalf of taxpayers, a Trump administration official told CNBC. Lithium Americas is based in Vancouver, British Columbia, but it trades on both the Toronto Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. So, having said that, let's look at Lithium Americas. Lithium Americas Corporation. Right here. Yeah. So let's look here at the chart pattern for Lithium Americas. All right. Let's look right here at the RSI. The RSI right here. 46, very, very neutral, as you can see. And right here at the price chart, also very neutral. It actually just jumped up from being almost oversold. Now it's back up to being consolidating and neutral. Let's look here at this price chart. There's several things I want to show you. Again, when you see the double top right there, you know it's going to reverse and go down, or market correct and go down, I should say. And then also right here, basically you see kind of a double bottom. When you see the double bottom, you have an idea it's going to market correct and go up. Same thing here. You have the double bottom, it goes up, and right here you have a triple top and it goes down. Let's see, done. And then, what are some other obvious ones I can give you? Right, let's see. Yeah, here, this is another double top right here, and let's see. This basically is a reverse head, left side and right side, and then here, bang, it breaks the neckline. That's a reverse head and shoulders as it goes up. And let's see, here's the head, right side, left side, and then here, bang, it breaks the neckline and goes down. So there's a reverse head and shoulders, double tops. There's some chart patterns for you. hopefully that's interesting and that's helpful. Let's go over here. Bum bum bum. Yeah, let's go on. Looking here at Latin Lithium Americas. Volume wise is at 11.2 million. Market cap is at 1.3 billion. Yeah, Q3 was actually not very good. Q2 also was more negative than expected. Q1 also more negative than expected annually. Annually, 2024 was more negative than expected, and so was 2023. So this earnings wise, it's not looking good right now. Let's look here at statements wise. If you go to year-over-year growth, you go to gross profit, operating income, or you go to let's see, near net income. It's all negative the last 3 years. So that's all in the red last 3 years. It's not looking good. And then let's see. But what about the forecast? What do the analysts say about this? They give it a neutral rating, but they give it a minimum 10% upside potential. Again, we're looking at these because these are some of the ones that are on the current administration has invested in these. So what about another one? It's Trilogy Metals. These are all under the current administration's investment profile. That's why we're taking a look at them. Trilogy Metals right here. Bum, bum, bum. Let's take a look here. Trilogy Metals. Oh, where is it? Trilogy Metals right here. Okay. For example, if you look right here at the RSI right here, 39, right there, it's pretty neutral. Just outside of 45, but it's still very, very neutral. And as you can see right here, the price chart is looking a little bit on the neutral side. Yeah, even the MACD right here is just crossed the indicator line right there. Let me see if I can get you some chart patterns right here. This is a nice reverse head. Let me show you this nice reverse head, and left side, right side, reverse head and shoulders. You can see this one actually breaks the neckline and does go up. So there's the neckline, and it breaks up like there. Let me highlight that for you because that's a nice one. That one really worked out well, pretty good right there. So there's the reverse head and shoulders for you. Very good chart pattern. Let's go to another fun one. Let's see. Right here. Here's a good one. This looks like a good double top. Yeah, right here, a good double top. Boom, boom, a double top. And what's another one I can give you right here? Here's a double bottom right there. Oh, here's a good one I can give you. Here is a head right here. Head, left side, right side. Good head and shoulders right there. That's a nice one. Oh yeah. So let me highlight it for you right there. That's a good head and shoulders chart pattern right there for you. Looking pretty nice. Let me give you, let's see if I can get you another one real fast. Nope. Okay. Well, let's move on. There's some chart patterns for you. There's some looks at the RSI for you. As you can see, it's looking right now to be pretty neutral. Waiting for the next catalyst to break it out, either up or down. We'll see what happens. And then volume-wise, 3.4 million. Market cap is at 798 million. Wow. And then over here, it's look at the earnings. My God, that's some great earnings right here. So Q3, Q2, both equal earnings expectations. But oh my God, Q1, unfortunately, really did not. It was not a good earnings quarter. But hey, if we look at the annual part, annually right there, wow, 2024 was not good. Did not even meet earnings expectations. Same thing as 2023, 2022. Actually, yeah, same thing. Didn't meet it. All the last 4 years. Sorry, folks. The earnings were not as good as the expectations. But maybe the statements will be better. Let's take a look at the statements. Let's see. Gross profit let's see. Gross profit the last 3 or 4 years were great. It's all in the green. Operating income was great except for 2023. that was in the red. But if you look here at net income the last 2 years were great. It was in the green. So focus on the last 2 years. Yes. Now, what's another one that we can look at here? Trump administration, that's trilogy. Yes. We got a lot more because the Trump administration is really investing into these rare earths and also energy. So let's go to Westinghouse. We did several of those rare earths. Now let's go to Westinghouse. Go to Cameco. What is Cameco doing? Let's see. Let's take a look here at Cameco. Dun dun dun. Cameco. All right, Cameco. Just a little bit about Cameco for those of you that might be new to it. Cameco, a Canadian uranium miner. Okay, the Commerce Department signed a deal with Cameco and Brookfield in October to finance the construction of Westinghouse nuclear plants worth $80 billion. Wow. Under that deal, the government is granted a participation interest in the Westinghouse and can require an initial public offering on or before January if the value rises above $30 billion. The government could become an 8% shareholder in Westinghouse under that scenario. They could. So let's take a look at that. Cameco, here we go. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Cameco, right here. RSI, bang, super neutral, 45. All right, and that's also why you see the price chart here starting to consolidate. It has rebounded from being almost oversold. It went all the way down to 32 on the RSI, but luckily we had a rebound. It's back up here to consolidation area. As you can see, even on the MACD right there, it showed that it crossed the signal line, and that was pretty close, pretty on time actually. Let's go here to some price charts. Let me show you. Oh yeah, we got here some magnificent. Here's a double top, bang. That shows the change of chart pattern to go down. And if you're looking here, let's see, dun dun dun, the double top right there, bang bang bang. Also, yeah, here's an example of a good triple bottom. It's going to reverse and go up. And again, here's basically a triple top, and it rebounds and goes down. So, a couple of quick patterns for you. Let's go on with this. Oh yeah, look at these price charts. Very volatile, very volatile. Okay. 2 days ago, Cameco Corporation target raised to, let's go here. Volume-wise, 4.5 million. And market cap is at 49 billion. And if we go here, quarterly. All right, folks. Quarterly Q3 did not surpass expectations. I'm sorry. I almost read that wrong. Q2, though, did surpass expectations. Q1 missed it annually. Annually, though, 2024 and 2024 actually beat expectations. 2023, though, and 2022 missed earnings expectations, sadly enough. What did the statements say on this thing? Here, year-over-year growth, total revenue, the last 3-4 years was all great except for 2025, which is in the red. Gross profit, if you want to look at that, all 4 years were in the green. And operating income, it was all good the last 4 years except for 2025, it was red. And if you look at net growth, the last 2 years, 2025 was red, 2024 was green. I'm sorry, annually. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Sorry. The last 3 years on revenue was very good, all in the green. Gross profit the last 2 years were great. Operating income last year was good. And then net income the last 2 years, only 2023 was good. 2024 was not. So bear that in mind. Yeah. Here we go. And then, for example, let's look here. Another one, Vulcan Elements. Let's see. Yeah. Vulcan will build a 10,000 metric ton magnet facility in the U.S. It will receive $620 million loan from the Pentagon. Under the deal, will receive $50 million equity stake in Vulcan, and the Pentagon gets warrants in the company. Okay. Vulcan Elements. Let me see if that's even on here. Hold on, let me do another one right here. Trading view. Bum bum bum. Vulcan elements. Oh, it's not there. Yeah, okay. Let me see. What's another one? X-Lite is a private company. Yeah. Oh, L3 Harris Technologies, a defense company. Yeah, we can look at that one. Let's do that. L3 Harris. Dun dun dun. L3 Harris. L3 Harris. Dun dun dun. Yeah, here we go. Looking at L3 Harris. For those of you who may not know, L3 Harris is a defense company with more than $65 billion market cap. Announced a proposed partnership with the U.S. government in December, in which the Pentagon would invest $1 billion in its rocket monitor business, whose motors are used in missile systems. Under the terms of the investment, L3 Harris would launch an initial public offering of its missile business. Okay, so let's check that out. L3 Harris right here. Right now, the RSI, let me give that one to you. RSI is sitting here at 58, 57, very, very neutral. That's why you see some consolidation starting right here. Yeah, let's look here. You got a double bottom right here, so the price chart goes up. And the same thing right here. You got a double top basically right here. Yeah. So, and a double top here basically right here. And right now, 2 days ago, plans a stock sale. L3 Harris plans a stock sale. Volume is at 976,000. Market cap is at 65 billion. Go to the cash flow here. Quarterly. Last 3 quarters all exceed expectations. Annually, yeah, the last 1, 2, 3 years all exceed expectations for the earnings. Statements wise, yes, annually. Last 3 years were good for total revenue, but gross profit just the last 2 years were good. Same thing with operating income the last 2 years. Also, net income the last 3 years were good. Yeah, there's that. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope it was interesting for you. And then, let's see. Stop streaming.